Hello, this is Elena with Black Sheep 303 Creative, and the project I'm sharing today is a Halloween card that I made with very few supplies and spending very little money. So I wanted to show you how I did that. So I started out with a black A2 card front, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then I cut this mat from paper that I purchased at Hobby Lobby, and that is 3 3/4 by 5. And then for embellishment purposes, I cut 3 ghosts out of this paper that I also purchased at Hobby Lobby for, Halloween elements on the cards. And that paper was a grand total of 52 cents. So I felt pretty good about that. And then the star of the card is this owl stamp that I also purchased, but she's not Halloween-y, and she was only $2. But I thought it would be super easy to make her Halloween-y by just drawing a witch hat on her. So that's what I did. And there's no great artistic skill there. It's just a line and a triangle and pretty easy to draw right on her once you stamp her. And then I drew a very, very simple branch and just cut that out of black cardstock so that she had something to sit on. Now my sayings or my greetings I did in MS Publisher, and I just printed them out on white cardstock. That's really all there is to it. And for that inside greeting, I did add a few hand-drawn little Halloween-y icons to jazz that up a little bit. But you will see when I show that more closely, there's no great artistic effort going on there either. So the big part of this card really is the coloring. So I colored the owl with my Inktense pencils. And I think these might be my favorite coloring medium right now. They are really, really fun. So what happens is it's basically ink in a pencil. So the color is super vibrant and really saturated. So you just lay down like a light layer, and then you kind of activate it, I guess I'll say, with water. So the water really brings out the color, and it also serves to blend colors together. Like here I'm going to blend 2 colors together, so that's dusky purple and sea blue that I'm blending on her wings, and they blend really nicely together just with one little bit of water. And then her tummy, I'm laying down a layer of golden yellow. So with larger areas I tend to put down just one layer of color, and then I add depth by adding layers on top of where I've already laid down a layer. Does that make sense? Now here, like, this is a small area, so I'm blending 2 colors. That's apple green and sea blue together. And then here I'm going to add in some shadow. So this is a second layer on top of her purple body. And so the first layer was violet, and now I'm adding deep violet on top of that. And you'll see as soon as I add the water how vibrant and saturated this color is. Like, it is really, really strong. So that would be kind of my big tip for these pencils, is start out with a light coat. It is very easy to add layers. It is impossible to subtract layers. So start out lightly. Now here I am coloring, like I'm adding some texture. And so I actually put a fair amount of pressure on the pencil here to just so that those lines will actually kind of show up and provide texture. But normally when I color with these, I am putting almost no pressure on the pencil at all. It's just a very, very light sketching motion to fill in an area. And then you just do the same thing over and over and add on layers until you get to the saturation level that you're happy with. And so there was I was adding on some extra blue, and you see how easy that is. And then here I'm adding on cadmium orange to her tummy. And I really wanted her stomach to be pretty orange along with her purple body. So here's a second layer I'm adding. So that's how you can see where you can keep adding layers to get to the saturation level you want. And that's the best way to do it, in my opinion, is just keep adding on until you get it to the color saturation level that you like. Don't just start out really heavy-handed, because you will regret it. So here's my interior greeting, or my inside greeting, and you can see all those fabulous little hand-drawn icons that I put on there. I got some really sketchy stars. There's a very simple witch's hat, and then I did a little broomstick. And I am not putting any great coloring effort into these. I'm using distress markers just to fill them in. So the stars, I used wilted violet, and then for the hat, I'm using black soot. And I think the broom is probably the most complex of these items that I drew on here. And so that the little broomstick, I'm using black soot. And then I actually go really nuts here and use 2 colors of distress markers to color in the bristles. I guess they're bristles on a broom? I'm not totally sure. Well, so that's scattered straw. And then I use wilted violet to put the little band in. And then I add in some fossilized amber to give a little extra dimension to the bristles. Yeah, bristles. Okay. But again, that is not any fancy or super artistic drawing I'm doing there. And I think anybody could really do something like that. Now, here's my word of warning from great experience. Always wait for your markers to dry before you erase the pencil lines. You will smear your markers otherwise. Just ask me how I know. Anyway, I am also adding in some more Spectrum Noir sparkle. I did put that on the eyelids on my witch. And I am putting it on the ghosts now because, you know, Halloween ghosts have to be sparkly. And I also did some Sakura black glaze gel or black glaze pen. I used that. You saw me do that on her witch's hat to put on a shiny band. I did also put that on the ghost eyes and mouths to give them a little bit of added dimension. So assembly on this card was very straightforward. You know, basically like I put the mat down, and then this is probably the most complicated part of this, which is figuring out sort of the positioning of everybody. That talking bubble with the greeting is pretty big, so I had to make sure that I was getting the owl in the right place in conjunction with that. You know, and then spacing out the ghosts just right so that they would everything would fit on there correctly. And then I just glued everything down with the glue pen. When I glued the branch, I did realize that it blended too much into the background, so I did wind up taking a white gel pen and drawing a light line across the top of the branch to just kind of make it stand out a little bit. I didn't film that, but you will see that in the pictures at the end. And of course I popped up the owl on some foam tape. And here's my interior. I did mat that with some purple cardstock that I again sparkled up with my Spectrum Noir sparkle marker, and just put that down, and there you have it. My very simple, very inexpensive Halloween card. I don't know. What do you think? I thought it was pretty cute. Kind of clever. And there's a good look at some of the coloring, as well as you can see that white gel pen a little bit, as well as the sparkle that I added to the branch. And there is my fabulous little artistic effort with those icons on the interior grating. And that's the project for today. So thank you so much for watching. There is a link to supplies in the video description below on YouTube. And you can always find more from me at my blog, blacksheep303.com. I would love it if you'd subscribe to my channel. I do come out with YouTube videos regularly and always welcome anyone who wishes to come aboard. Thank you so much. Have a great day.